So, did you see this cartoon I put up today? There are people sitting around a conference table. Looks like they've been having a food fight. And the caption of the cartoon says, "Aren't we glad we had this meeting to resolve our conflict?" Well, besides being kind of a funny cartoon, the reason I chose that is because this Thursday on our weekly Facebook Live show, we are going to be talking about ways that we can resolve disputes, the different kinds of dispute resolution options you have, kind of the history of how some maybe don't work out quite as well for parents. We're going to be talking about the pros and cons of dispute resolution options, and also what you can do as a parent with your advocacy. So that all happens this Thursday. We'll be on live noon Mountain Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. And my fabulous guest is Sarah Davis. She is an extraordinary advocate from the Washington, D.C. metro area. So she will have lots of insight to share with us and her personal journey and how she's helped other families when they have this impasse with their district and aren't able to resolve things. So if that's a topic of interest, I hope you'll put that in your calendar Thursday at noon. You can also make sure you tell guests or friends. Share this with your friends. But I wanted to talk a few minutes tonight about facilitated IEP or ARD meetings. We have a lot of friends in Texas, so I want to make sure I always say ARD meetings because that's what they call them in Texas. So most states have the opportunity for parents or a school to ask for a facilitated IEP meeting. I know when I lived in Colorado, we were one of the few states that did not have facilitation available, but now Colorado does have that option, so that's great. In Idaho, where I live now, we do have facilitators. They are trained by the State Department of Education. They are to be neutral people. They act more as somebody who helps the process of the IEP meeting. They really aren't supposed to get involved with the content or the issues or taking one side or the other. Most often, I think facilitators are called in to help guide the process when there have been, probably more than one IEP meeting and the district and the parents still have unresolved issues. The facilitator can be very helpful in making sure that everyone gets heard at the meeting, so there's no shouting over each other or interrupting. And so that can be a very positive thing to have happen, especially when you've been in a lot of disagreements with the district. So I see we have a viewer live. Say hi, let me know where you're watching from. I'm still trying to figure out this light in my office. I have this goal that I could do these impromptu videos sitting here in my office and not going to my studio. Obviously, when I do it at night, the light is even worse. So I apologize for the lighting. It's a work in progress. So let me know if you have ever had a facilitator lead your IEP or ARD meeting and what you thought the results, what were the benefits? Did it help? Did it not help? Was it a hinder? Let's see, I think it really depends on the skills of the facilitator as far as if it's going to be beneficial or not. Most of the facilitators that I've worked with have had very good communication and listening skills, which I think are prerequisites for a good facilitator. And this is different than mediation. And a facilitated meeting, it's not like, you know, whatever you agree to is for sure going to be this binding agreement. Hopefully, whatever you agree to gets written in the IEP, and then that becomes what the school or the district's going to be accountable for. So facilitated IEP meetings are a little bit less formal than having a mediator come to your meeting, but that's also an option. And I'm sure when Sarah is with us on Thursday, that we'll be talking a little bit more in depth about mediation. But I'm just curious as to how many parents know, one, about facilitated IEP meetings, and two, how many parents request it. In most states, both parties, both the parent and the school, has to agree to having a facilitator. So that's usually step one. In most states, you contact your Department of Education in your state capital usually, and you request a facilitator. Depends on the system that your state uses. Some of the states will have a list of trained facilitators, and oops, looks like I'm frozen. And whoever is next on the list is kind of the one that's assigned to you. Some departments of ed will kind of personalize it, and depending on the school district or the people involved, sometimes they make adjustments as to who your facilitator is going to be. So let me know. Courtney is here. Hey, Courtney. And Courtney is going to be with us the last Thursday of the month. I'm excited. And Courtney is going to be talking about policy and how we as parents can impact the policies in our states, in particular with our state legislators. So Courtney is a wonderful advocate who now lives in Tacoma, Washington. So Courtney had experience in Ohio, passing a bill and getting legislators to pass that. And now she has a new bill that she is looking to pass in Washington about inclusive preschool. So, hey, welcome, Courtney. So Erica is here, and Erica says she considers herself a pro with mediation. Yes. Erica and I have spent many an hour in mediation, haven't we, Erica? Yes, yes, yes. And Tammy's here. Hey, Tammy. So we're just talking for a few minutes about facilitated IEP meetings. So Courtney, if you're still with us live, and Tammy, if you can type in if you've been involved with facilitated IEP meetings before and how they worked out for you, that would be cool. The nice thing about facilitated IEP meetings is there's no cost to the parent and there's no cost to the school district. As far as I know, that applies to the states that have facilitators that do this. So that's a benefit, because so many times when you go to more formal dispute resolutions like mediation meetings, you really need an advocate and or an attorney to be there, I think. So that does have a cost to it for the parents. So that's, like I said, one of the benefits of a facilitated IEP meeting. So let me see. Sometimes I don't see all the content. So here, Courtney says, I find that some facilitators are very good, others not so much. And yeah, that's been my experience too. And I think there's only been one time where I had to ask the State Department to give us a different facilitator. this was in a case where we had several facilitated meetings with the same school district and family. And this facilitator just seemed like they were not being as neutral as I think they need to be, and getting involved in the issues and making suggestions that to me kind of went over the line of being neutral. So no, as a parent, if you find the facilitator doesn't have the necessary skills to really be helpful, that doesn't mean you have to keep using that person. You can either ask for someone else to be assigned, or you can say, we're just going to have the meeting without a facilitator. So those are choices that you can make too. But one of the things I want you to know is that this Thursday, I would love for you to join us so we can continue the conversations about dispute resolutions. Sarah Davis, an advocate in the DC metro area, is joining us at noon Mountain Time on Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to be talking about dispute resolution options, pros and cons, how beneficial they can be to parents, and some specific advocacy kind of responsibilities that we have as a parent. So let me check and see. So Courtney says, I think it's a great option for parents who need to keep a good working relationship with the school district. Due process and even state complaints can be very emotionally draining. Avoiding that is always a good thing if possible. And I totally agree. I just had an email tonight from a dad that I'm working with, and I think this was our second or third IEP meeting that we recently had. And we're still not in great agreement with everything. And the dad was saying tonight in the email, this is just like emotionally draining and very stressful. And it is. I know we filed for due process when my son was 3 over the issue of least restrictive environment when we wanted him to go to a community preschool. And there were many times where I was just like, I think we'll just stop. I give up. And it's like, unless I had my friend Kathy Snow urging me to continue, it's very draining. And the problem with things like due process, it can be terribly expensive too. So the more that we can collaborate and find agreement at the IEP table, the better off we all will be. So I'll show you my cartoon again that I posted today. And I said, I don't think food fight is listed in IDEA for a dispute resolution option. But I hope you'll be here with us Thursday so we can talk about ones that are listed in IDEA and that are there for parents to take and use and see if that can be helpful. So until Thursday, I shall talk to you later. I may jump on tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be like in the light. If darkness at night isn't working here, but and we'll have another Tipspiration for you tomorrow. So take care and we shall see you then.